Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hi, I'm here. I lost my pages though. Trying to find my pages. How does that happen? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can figure it out. So, you know what today is? Today is Wise Women's Wednesday. You know what that means? There's wise women in the house, and I see a whole pile of them. We've got Doris and Jocelyn and Catherine. Deborah's here. So's Jeanette. And we're so delighted that you're here. And you know what else I'm really delighted about? That I can ask my dear friends here for prayers for our Jenny. She is in surgery right now as I speak. So keep her in prayer. Keep Ian in prayer, of course, the kids, everybody in prayer. This is where we all come together, and this is how community can be even better than it already is. So I appreciate that about all of you. Kathy, Jane, Beverly, so good to have you here. Alice, yeah, I know you all are praying, and I really do appreciate it. It's just really great. Anyway, so I'll tell you, the other thing that I'm really excited about too is, we're getting a lot of emails about the Vibrant Body Detox. Is this right for me? And I'm just going to say this. If you have a body, then your body is going to be doing the same thing my body is doing and everybody else's body is. And that is that when we begin to sleep, our bodies go into repair. Now, optimally, we want to be doing this from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. because circadian clock and all of that, that's when it works out really well. But as we get older, and you know what that is, that's just happening to all of us. If we have a pulse, we are getting older by the day. As we're getting older, our bodies need a little help. This is where supplementation comes in. This is strategic supplementation. And at night, I take advantage of the fact that I know my body is in repair mode. And so we boost it up. We give it Vibrant Body Detox. And in there, I think there's 7, 8 ingredients that all work on the detoxification pathways in the body. Your body's going to do it anyway. This is going to boost it and make it that much better. That's all this does. This is not one of those celebrity detoxes where you're just sick to your stomach and running for the toilet. Okay? This is to support what your body is already doing. It just makes it that much better. It's sort of like, this. I oftentimes recommend glycozyme because it helps with our body's digestion. We need help with that as we get older as well. So what we always want to do is look at how we can be supportive with what our body is going to do anyway and might not be doing a great job at. Is your body detoxing well? Are you feeling tired in the morning and what have you? That might help a little bit. Same with digestion. Are you feeling like you're just not digesting your food enough? Try a digestive enzyme like we have with glycozyme. Anyway, here's what I want you to do. Go to savingdinner.com/show. There you will get to get our special, which means you'll get 4 bottles for the price of 3. One is going to be absolutely free. It's a screaming deal. Go to savingdinner.com/show. That's where you're going to find that. So do I recommend this? Pretty much for everyone. The only time that I would say, really talk to your doctor, if you've got a lot going on, a lot of medications and different things that you're working with, of course, you got to go see your doctor. Okay. Just ask your doctor because you don't want to have contraindications. Contraindications are not our friends. All right. So are you ready? Are you ready to get into this? I'm going to get down on it because we have enough stuff here to talk about. So today we're going to be talking about interrupting this idea that we're not enough and interrupting this idea that we need, somebody to save us or that we're never going to be able to get where we want to go, and blah, blah, blah. So I'll talk about that in just half a second. The other thing that I wanted, besides this, savingdinner.com/show, we have a great quote. And it came from our friend June, who is in our Hot Melt Sprint group. By the way, if you're not in there, what up? Get over there right now and just say, hey, I want to be a part of this. You'll get asked if you have seen the webinar and all this other kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if you have or not. We will be having another sprint that's coming up in the first week of May. I forget the dates. We can do that. But honestly, if you don't take us up on these free challenges, man, you're missing out. Am I right? You are missing out. So the ultimate sprint too, right now, we're in the middle of that. I guess we are actually getting toward the end of it, about 3/4 of the way there. And I don't know about you, but I am feeling so much better, making sure my protein is on point. Prioritizing protein. Absolutely need to do that. So that is at savingdinner.com/US, as in us, as in Ultimate Sprint. And it is never too late to get started, because let me just say something too. If you are a postmenopausal woman and you're not prioritizing protein, we need to have a talk. That's all. Hey, Margot, I'm glad you're here. So the quote of the week is, fear tries to take us away from the gift that is the present. And that is the absolute truth, isn't it? Have you noticed how fear just kind of wiggles its way and just squirms like a slimy snake into your very being? And we let it, don't we? We let it. I'm going to say no. No, no, no. Jane, I'm learning a lot with the Ultimate Sprint. Let me tell you this. The one thing that has just absolutely aha'd the heck out of me for this past year, and this year, this is my 64th year. I am turning 65 in a few short weeks. And as I turned 65, what really gobsmacked me was that women who fall age 65 and up, who break a hip, 40% of them will never walk again. It just gets me. And then if we understand about skeletal muscle and how that's basically the armor around our bones, then we can start really prioritizing taking care of ourselves in the way with making sure that we're getting adequate protein. Adequate protein means that we're doing basically a 1-to-1 on a 1 gram of protein to 1 pound of ideal body weight, not your current body weight, your ideal body weight. And I just want to say one more thing about body weight. Please listen to me when I say this. Your body weight is more accurately measured with a tape measure than it is with a scale. Your scale is going to go all over the place. It just does. I actually had one day where it was like I gained 4 pounds in a day. No, of course not. That was water weight. That was inflammation. That was from staying up late and being out with friends and doing all that. It had nothing to do. In 2 days, it was gone again, of course. I didn't gain 4 pounds. I just had a little inflammation. The most accurate measurement is going to be your waist measurement. That's the thing that we need to track more than what's on the scale. We get fixated with what those numbers say on the scale. But I don't want anybody here to be skinny fat. I don't want anyone here thinking it's just about that number and losing that weight. It is not. It is about the lean muscle on your body and maintaining that. Without maintaining that, you will lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Am I right, Lynn? Lynn knows. She's a trainer. She knows this stuff. And if you don't use that muscle will go. It's called sarcopenia, and it means muscle wasting. And so there goes your armor. And then we've got these thin bones and women who, I've got friends who are just like, that I love dearly here where I live. And they're, I've got a few that already have osteoporosis. We don't need to go there, ladies. And now you have just had my lecture on this, because it's the thing that is lighting me up, and every single day is taking me to that place of understanding that if I don't have the muscle, I'm not going to protect the bone. If I don't protect my bone, I could be a statistic. I'm not going to be. And I don't want you to be either. I'm going to take as many women as I can with me to this place of understanding this whole concept of how important your muscle is and how important your bone is. Okay? This is because I love you, and I'm going to throw my mama finger at you. I'm going to say, come on down. I'm going to say, are you doing this? So strength training is important, right? I love that you walk. I love that you do all these things, but I want you out there strength training and working that muscle and gaining muscle. Let's not worry about what it says on the scale. Let's worry about what it says on your measuring tape. Are you with me? Give me some pinkies. Give me some. Gimme. Okay. I am just full of myself today, aren't I? So many lectures. Cheers to you, Nancy. I'm glad to see you. I was worried about you yesterday, Mother Hen. You weren't here. I noticed when you're not here. Juanita, I'm so glad to see you. Right on. Yes, Jane knows. She's a strength trainer. You check out her biceps any day of the week. And the rest of y'all, let's get on it. Right now, today, my biceps are killing me. Yesterday was my day, upper body. But that's what we need to do, because we're going to be these vibrant old ladies, and we're just going to smack down these youngins, aren't we? We're just saying, get out of the way. We've got this. You don't give me that. You don't give me your seat on the bus. I got this. Right? Right on. Yep. Read what Lynn said. Just read her. She knows. And talk about vibrant. Lynn is she's over 65. Let's go with that. Does not look it. Not at all. And it's not about looking your age or whatever that is. It's about the vibrancy that you carry with you, right? And when you are strong, heart, mind, body, and soul, man, you can carry that off, can't you? You can carry it. I mean, it's not even about wearing cute clothes that you want to do, but it's about the way you feel in this body sack of yours, right? It's huge. It's a great big deal. Am I right, Jane? Tell me I'm right. All right, so we've been kind of exploring this, we went from fuzzy thinking and focus and all of that to understanding that a lot of times we lose our balance with ourselves because we feel like we're just not enough. We just can't keep up. We're not worthy. And I'm always going to bring you back. I'm always going to grab you and say, come with me, sister, because you are. You are. And we have to, at times, interrupt the corrupt, because there's some corrupt thinking that we have. There is corrupt culture out there telling us that we're old and decrepit and awful and, all of this other kind of stuff. And let me just tell you, as I'm getting ready to turn 65, having applied for Medicare, for heaven's sakes, the garbage mail that I get, oh my God, I just want to smack them around, And they're showing me these pictures of these little old ladies. I am not a little old lady, right? We need to really kind of get rid of this ageism stuff. Man, am I sick of it. Boy, am I sick of it. Jane, you should be excited about being 74 this summer, because you look like you're fabulous. I mean, I got to meet Jane in person this summer. Wow. Fabulous Jane. And Nancy, fabulous Nancy. And Lynn, got to meet her too. By the way, Full Bloom is coming this July. I don't have the exact date. I think, Amber might have it. It's coming this June. It's going to be right here. And if you're not here, save up your pennies. Start saving now. Start looking for great deals. Use your points on your credit card, but get your Butinsky here. Plus just melding with your sisters. There it is. July 29th. You're tiny, Jane. You are just a little thing. She is just a little wee thing. I felt like a big hairy monster because I'm not that tall. I'm 5'7", but anyway. But being enough means we have to interrupt the corrupt, because the corruption comes in the culture with the ageism and all that other stuff, in people's perception of who you are and what you're about, in all kinds of ways. It comes in, and it comes in between your ears too. What you're thinking about, what you might even be saying about yourself. And if you ever hear yourself saying, I'm too old, or I can't do that. Well, when I was younger, I could, and just making all of these like crappy remarks. Do you think your brain's listening to that? Of course. And as your brain listens to that, how does your brain translate that? Oh, okay. This is what it is, right? This is what we're going to be doing. Look at who's here, Kimberly. Hi. Glad you're here. But we can't do that. We are only as old as we think we are. That doesn't mean we have to dress like teenagers and, be silly and crazy. But it does mean that we have to start saying, yeah, I have the ability to do that. I have the ability to do whatever. This weekend, I played, and I was in another tournament, and we got second, y'all. We got second. Now, it was kind of a weird tournament. I'm not even going to give you all the basics, but there was a lot of teams there. There was, I think, like 62 or something like that. And we kicked some butt. These two women over 60, overall. And there were younger players and what have you. We define ourselves by understanding that who we are is showing up on a daily basis. How do we want to do that? How do we want to do that? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it is time to interrupt the corrupt thoughts, the corrupt culture, the corrupt anything that's getting in the way, standing in the way between you and what it is that you want. Your culture can be the one that you create. Vibrant, in full bloom, and completely in control of everything in your life. Well, not everything, but close enough, right? We can't have that. We can. We can control what's on the end of our forks. We can control how much movement we get per day. We can control the supplements that we're taking. We can control the relationships that we're in. We can control whether or not we are using our time wisely or we're just frittering it away. We can control that. And all of that is going to have an impact on whether or not we are living our lives in full bloom. We are feeling vibrant. We are living our very best lives. Our very best lives never happen. They're planned every single time. And it starts with this premise to stand up and to be counted, to not be looked over, to not be invisible anymore, to say, here I am. Here I am. We don't have to be beauty queens. We don't have to have like a whole barrage of plastic surgery and, dermatological interventions and all of that stuff. We don't have to do that. We don't have to dye our hair, or we can let it go. We don't have to do any of that. And you can do it if you want to, and still it's fine. It's how you want to be. There was an interesting meme years ago with Audrey Hepburn at 60 and Madonna at 60 or whatever, and just the differences between the two. And I loved what it said, because oftentimes we choose sides, right? Well, this is aging naturally. This is graceful. This is great. This is great. Look at Madonna, blah, 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 blah. I'm no fan of what she's done to herself lately, but, to each his own. But I will say this, that is, if we can completely remove ourselves from the fact of what these two women look like, they're both doing things on their, well, it's hard to say that about Madonna because she's just so kind of out there. But you know what I'm saying is that we're on a path, on a mission, and certainly vibrant, and certainly not, curled up with a walker and reading AARP, right? That's the point. And we need to walk into however it is that we take our age and embrace it. This is my natural color here. This is not. Just, am I going to go back and get my blonde highlights? I don't know. But I do, I'm fine with the way I am, but I'll tell you what, when I'm doing TikTok and that bright light's in my face, I'm going to choose a filter every time. So what's that mean? That just means that I'm going to put my best foot forward. It doesn't mean that I'm afraid of the way I look. I like who I am, and I like who you are, and I like the fact that each one of you are here choosing vibrancy over just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. But we got to interrupt the corrupt. We all have corrupt thoughts. All of us. And I want to ask you, do you know how to stop those corrupt thoughts? Do you know how to interrupt that corrupt? Because I've got some stuff for you. And I'm going to give you some stuff that I've talked about before. But these are the things that are going to make all the difference in the world. Because I know that for a lot of us, we have knee-jerk reactions to these things. So here we go. The first thing I want you to do, you ready? Is learn to accept a compliment. I've shared this with you before. When somebody says something about you, you say, thank you, I accept that. That's often what I will do. I had to train myself to do that. Instead of saying, oh no, if we dismiss compliments, we're saying to the person who is observing us, who's saying, hey, you're so good at this, or I love how you X, Y, and Z. We're dismissing them, we're pushing them away, and we're saying, nope, absolutely not. And how do you think that makes the complimenter feel? Right? Oh, okay, whatever, sorry, And I'll give you one more. You ready to go for this? Compliment yourself. I am really good at this. I'm really good at that. I'm really wise when it comes to X, Y, and Z. I understand this and I know this. This is my wheelhouse. These are the things that I do really, really well. Compliment yourself. We don't do enough of that. And not just flattery, not just this like, oh, you look so pretty today. But no, you know what? You look radiant today. I don't know what it is about you, but today you just lit up. There's something about you. What if you said that to someone? What do you think they're going to do? You're going to just turn them on for the whole entire day, maybe the whole week, month, maybe in a year, they're going to remember that time that you said that to them. Because so often we don't say those things. We say all the corrupt garbage, but we don't say the good stuff to friends, family, and even to ourselves. So I invite you into this idea of genuine, authentic, beautiful compliments to others and to yourself. Can we do that together? Can we pinky up on that one? Number 2, don't allow the joy thieves in your life. Don't allow them to have a say. I understand that there are always going to be people around who are going to want to steal your joy. They do. That's just kind of their thing, just pop your balloon or whatever. But you don't have to spend as much time with them as you want, as you maybe have. And I don't care if they're family. When a joy thief comes around, I always say, really, is that how you see that? So bring it back so you can mirror their ugliness, not in a way so that you can throw it down or throw it back at them, but just so that you can say, what did you say again? What was that? So that we're bringing it back to the level of you're trying and attempting to steal my joy, but it's not going to happen, right? Because when you put up a barrier and a boundary and you say, no joy thieves allowed, it's the same as having somebody come onto your property, open your door, and helping themselves to what's in your refrigerator, right? That's just off limits. We all have the capacity, the capability, and I hope the heart's desire to put up a good boundary. Our joy is important. We need to nurture the joy, not allow the thieves to come in and steal it. Just because they have no joy doesn't mean they need to pollute and corrupt yours. Right on. Number 3. Now this one, it's a tough one, but I'm going to say this with all due respect. I think, and I know from the research that's out there, that meditation is one of the most incredible ways for us to center, to become connected with ourselves, and to kind of bring in the scatteredness and bring it into ourselves is the best way that I can see it. Every day when I sit down to do my meditation, I'm always, first of all, I take a few deep breaths, and my meditation is allow me to connect heart and mind. because my mind will want to race around. My mind is going to want to make a grocery list. What have I got to do today? How long is this going to take? What does Lincoln need? What does Mark need? What do I have to do around the house? What's my work stuff? That kind of a thing. But when I say my heart and my mind, that's your subconscious, essentially, your heart and your mind. And when you connect those two and you can just get to center, it just gives you that breathing moment, right? And it soothes the entire nervous system and it connects you to the core of who you are. And that gives you an extra thing. It gives you an extra thing. It changes your body's chemistry. And that's what medication does. So I say meditate, no, don't medicate. Start with meditation before you go with the medication. A sincere path to meditation and that connection is a godsend. It's a lifesaver. And for me, it's everything. The days that I don't start with meditation, and they happens it rarely, but when it happens, at the end of the day, I am so frazzled. I am exhausted because I didn't have that moment to just bring it all in and to remind myself of who you are, of who I am. So can I offer that to you as just a gift of love? Please start a meditative practice. It changes the whole trajectory of your life. It really does. Number 4 is gratitude creates such a beautiful attitude. It truly does. When you have gratitude in place, that's the focus. Otherwise, there's a lot. Listen, can we all just sit around and bitch and whine? I'm sorry, I said the B word, but yeah, that's really what it is. We could all, I've got a list. Have you watched the news lately? Right? Can I tell you some stuff around here? I've got some stuff I could complain about Mark and Lincoln even. I can complain about a whole list of things. Sure, I can. But I'm going to tell you that when I walk out the store and I take my little doggy for a walk every single day around the lake, I'm looking out and I'm saying, this is the result of my heart's desire. How could I not be full of gratitude? How could I not? And last July, when we had full bloom, and I had all these women sitting on my deck overlooking the lake, which was exactly a vision that I had, exactly the thing that I had prayed for. I was just overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude for that gift. I had thought about it. I had conceived it in my mind. I had so much about it. And here it was coming to fruition right before my eyes. The gratitude that we have, and not just always constantly moving on to the next thing, but instead enjoying and relishing and sopping up all that yumminess in the present tense with all those people, lovelies, Nancy. Wow, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become. This puts us on the path of purpose. It puts us into a place where our eyes are open and our focus is sharp. And you know what? We're called to do this. If we don't do this, we can't see other things besides all the dross in our lives. Number 5, childlike wonder, curiosity, what ifness. Can you imagine? Doesn't that just bring in the sparkle? I mean, when we do this, when we view the world with childlike wonder, when we look at every little thing as just another little yummy drip off of an ice cream cone that we are eagerly licking off, we live a different life. We live a life of anticipation. We interrupt so many corrupt thoughts because the only thing that we can see is the beauty around us. We're grateful for that drippy ice cream cone, for example. We are grateful and excited for every single day and for everything that we are around. And we imagine what things could be like, and we see it all. That's what happens when we become curious and we start to notice and we start to say, ooh, did you see that? What if we did this? we had a house on the water with a dog and a boat? I didn't know her name was going to be Wanda, by the way, but she's named Wanda. What if I had all those ladies on this boat? Captain Mark was taking them around the lake. What about that? Holy cow. And there it was last summer. What about it? What's next on your list of things that you wonder about with childlike wonder? What's next on your list of things that you want in your life? Because I will say that there is nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with saying, yes, please, I'll have some more. There's nothing wrong with any of that. As a matter of fact, when we do this, we set ourselves, we're teeing up the next thing. We are. We're teeing it up. And that is where our reticular activating system comes in. Our subconscious is working overtime to make these things happen. That's when our vision board lights up. Am I right, Nancy? She's got a vision board for this stuff. That's where it all comes together. And as things start to come together, the gratitude swells, all of the things. We stop thinking that we're not enough. We stop thinking these corrupt thoughts that just take us down. We start seeing things genuinely through a different lens, a lens of beauty, a lens of full bloomedness, a lens of vibrancy. Number 6 is to remember who you are. Who are you? Well, let me just say this. If you're here on purpose and for purpose, then there's a path of purpose for you, right? Your purpose is going to shift a little bit along the way as your life changes. It does. We have seasons in our lives. But I will also say that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, the apple of God's eye, who has numbered every hair on your head. See yourself as that daughter of the King. See yourself sitting at the table. You are not under the table like a dog looking for scraps. You are there, sitting in a place of honor. See that. See that, and as you see that, be that. Number 7, girlfriends. I guess I've already thrown down one little oopsie-doo word today, but I'm going to give you another one. Fight like hell for what it is that you want. Do not give up. Do not throw in the towel. Don't ever quit on yourself. You are worth the effort. You are worth the time that it's going to take in order to finesse the schedule that you need and your time that you need in order to do it. You're going to see yourself in a completely different light when you're a fighter. When you fight and when you just leave an Irish goodbye. And by the way, speaking of that, our Jackie has a wonderful trip coming up and everything. She wrote me an actual note to customer service to say, I am not Irish goodbying you. I just wanted to make sure that you knew this. This is what I'm up to. And I have to tell you how much I love that, because she wants to make sure that she knows that that she's in the community and that it's important for her. This is what we need to be like, because she's not a quitter. Either are you when you make that decision that you will not quit on yourself. And when we don't quit on ourselves, can I tell you something? We learn another way. We can figure it out, because everything is always figure outable. We know that. Everything is. So fight for yourself. You're worth the cause, okay? And number 8 is, if you complain, you stain your brain and shrink it. Hear me. Your prefrontal cortex right here shrinks as you complain. But you know what else? As you risk and do things that are hard and do it anyway, even though your amygdala is screaming at you, saying, no, we don't want to do that. If you do it anyway, you shrink your amygdala. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to things in my brain that I want to shrink, it would be the amygdala first. Shrink that. My prefrontal cortex, My hippocampus, I want that as big as Dallas, because that is the complexity that I can think of that helps me to understand the next thing that I can do. So we have to be these kind of women. We have to be these kind of women that stand up for ourselves, that stand up for getting rid of the corruption in our thoughts, in our culture, in the culture that's around us, and in our relationships, wherever that corruption is. This is where we need to be. This is how we stop all of that stuff. And we start nurturing within us all the goodness that is already there from the beginning, right? Who do you think put that there in the first place, right? You know, 100% you know. So live like that. Live like that daughter of the king sitting in a place of honor at the table. You are worthy of all of this. And don't you ever forget it. I love you all. You know that's true. And I can't wait, because I know all of you are going to be coming, aren't you? In July, right here to my house. I sure hope so. You'll have the details on that. That will be coming probably next month. Meanwhile, all kinds of stuff going on. If you missed any of the announcements at the beginning, savingdinner.com/announcements. And tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday. And I love y'all. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you then. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.